This is a Fox San Antonio News Special, Fighting DWI.
Good evening and welcome to a special dedicated to a problem that seems to be plaguing our community.
Drunk driving kills thousands of people each year, and in Bexar County, it leads to thousands of arrests. It's all a problem that has an easy solution. Don't drink and drive.
Still, the problem is not going away. So over the next half hour, we're going to take you through the various tools that community leaders are using to fight the problem.
And we will hear from District Attorney Susan Reed about how her office is stepping up efforts to ensure drunk drivers pay the price for getting behind the wheel. You'll also see the scare tactic law enforcement officers use to keep kids from driving drunk.
Drinking and driving seems like it's become an old problem in our community, but one judge here in town is now using a brand new device to fight it. Our Ted Garcia shows us how it works.
You tell me, counsel, what do we need to do to help him?
In his career as a lawyer and now on the bench, Judge Carlo Key has seen thousands of DWI cases.
Our numbers are off the charts, and I worry on a daily basis for the safety of the people on our roads and our families.
Judge Key says what happened this past fiesta should be a wake-up call. He says there were 373 DWI arrests. That's up 45% since 2010. He also says on average it takes 20 to 24 hours to try a DWI case. He does the math for us.
So just based on that, if we were to try all the cases that we picked up during this past fiesta alone, that's 9,000 hours of trial time. So that's 1,000 actual work days, 8 hours a day, trying these cases.
Just recently, the judge came across a new tool that he says could make a difference.
Soberlink saw an opportunity and has taken all of today's newest technologies and combined them into one incredible new device.
This is Soberlink. Simply put, it's a device that remotely monitors sobriety.
It actively monitors a probationer or someone who's pretrial for alcohol use.
Here's how it works. You blow into the small device. A small flash goes off and your picture's taken. About 90 seconds later, your photo and your blood alcohol content are transmitted to a BlackBerry. Probation officers can get the results instantly. The judge says probationers are required to use Soberlink 4 times a day.
And what we'll do is, the exciting thing about this device is we will actually use your personal cell phone and we will send reminder text messages reminding the probationer, the supervised person, that it's time to show that they're not using alcohol. Thank you, sir.
Judge Key has been using Soberlink for about a month now. He believes this is the most active and effective way to monitor a probationer's progress. But can this device help to reverse a dangerous trend in San Antonio?
It can definitely help. Our system is struggling dealing with the massive amount of offenders that we have. So it's going to help us in supervising. It's going to hopefully help us in identifying problem drinkers.
Joined now by Judge Key. Thanks for coming here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. I want to do this right now because I know it takes a little bit of time to get this process going. We want to try out the contraption actually itself. So let's see. Let's just try it like this first.
Okay.
I'll just give it a clean sweep.
Okay.
All right. So I punch this button here.
Let me turn on the system here.
All right.
All right. Now, if you can turn on that, you have a green light.
I got a green light.
Okay. Now let me hit connect.
Now, how did you first hear about this system?
Well, this was brought to us. I believe this instrument was developed and made available in September of 2011. About 60 days ago, a private vendor offered it to the county and said it's now available. And we reviewed it. And so from what we've seen so far, it seems like another way that we can use to monitor people.
And what type of offenders are you putting on this device? I mean, do they have to be repeat offenders or even first-time people you're putting on this thing?
It really depends. There's certain different types of, each offense has different circumstances surrounding it. There are new offenses, a first-time offense of a BAC of 0.15, even though it may be a first-time offense. The fact that there is a 0.15 gives an indication that there may be some kind of further issues. So now under law, it's required to have some kind of additional supervision on those types of cases.
Gotcha.
DWI seconds, the same. And also pending trial. When you're out on bond, we need to supervise your DWI seconds or your 0.15 or higher.
Yeah. Is this thing ready to roll?
All right, let's see. All right, we got green light again?
Got a green light.
All right, let's see. It takes roughly about 30 to 40 seconds to connect, and then it'll ask you for a sample.
And we were talking, this is not for everyone. This doesn't work for everyone. You can't even give this particular device to everyone. In other words, you can't, not every offender is going to end up in this program.
No. Well, it's,
because it cost prohibitive.
Well, it is cost prohibitive. We will have to use, there are other means that we can use. This is not the sole method that we have available to us, but I feel it's the most effective.
Because the device we did talk about, it is $180, and the taxpayers aren't paying for this thing.
No, we are not funded to supervise in that method. So what we have to do, we do have some methods that is available to the county. However, this is not funded. We have to go through a private vendor to use this.
But this is just really another way of another tool, say, in the toolbox
Yes.
to have a way to control this type of offense.
Correct. Well, what it is it's supervision, and that way we can look and see at people's habits. There are several different methods that we can use to additionally supervise some people. There's a GPS device, which is basically a proximity monitor. It tells us where that offender is at all times. We have a scram device which attaches on the ankle as well, and it measures perspiration limits and indicates alcohol that way. But we don't have a combined unit.
Yeah.
So with
that
this
provides
unit,
this kind of immediate feedback.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so this will tell us how much an individual is drinking. It'll tell us where they're drinking, and also take a picture. So it'll let us know who is providing a sample. So that's not an issue.
Yeah. So you think we'll ever see a day, and I hate to put it this way, where this won't be as major a problem as it is for San Antonio right now?
Driving while intoxicated?
Yeah.
We're hopeful. We're hopeful, but in order for that to change, it has to be a community attitude. The community has to change. Law enforcement, judges, we've all tried different things to affect change, and it just doesn't seem to be working right now. Mm-hmm. So I really feel that we're not going to have success until people start making the right decisions. We
talked a little bit about this because we were going to try to show the difference. That
here we are.
We're here.
Take a deep breath and go,
I don't
sir.
even know if I want to go now. Okay, ready?
Yes, sir. Okay, that's complete.
I heard it take my picture.
Yes, sir.
I have to admit, that's a tad bit creepy.
And the picture's not very flattering. So.
Well, the funny part is, if you flunk the test, it's not going to be a flattering picture either way.
No, either way, it's not to your benefit, no.
Yeah. And how immediate is the response to when you fail the test?
Well, it's immediate. We will get notice immediately, within seconds. The problem is that right now we're not funded or equipped to do anything with that information.
Okay.
So if we had officers available or somebody capable of immediately going out, that would be effective.
Yeah.
But we're just not there yet.
Yeah. But then that probationer or whoever that person is does eventually have to go face someone, and they're going to tell them, hey, these times that you checked in, you failed.
Absolutely. I would get a report the next day, and they will tell me, hey, this individual is drinking, these are the results, this is the picture, and this is where they were. And I'll take that information, I'll look at the results, and then I'll sign a warrant immediately.
Wow. Wow.
So,
well,
and here's your result.
Oh, and you were not kidding. That is about as unflattering a picture as you can get, .000 as expected.
That's good news.
Yeah, that is good news, actually. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
We appreciate. Oh, do you want to see the picture? You're not going to be able to make it out. Do you want to see it over here?
Oh, it just cleared out.
Oh, it just cleared out. And really, that's really too bad. That's actually the best thing that could have happened to me all day, because that is not a flattering picture at all. Again, thank you, Judge.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for your service.
All right, thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
Driving drunk not only puts lives at risk, it can start the ball rolling on a long, complex legal process that recent history has shown has mixed results. Jennifer Salcedo takes us through some of the cases that have caused outrage.
They come from different walks of life: a mother of two, an honor student, an Iraq War veteran, a jeweler, a flight attendant, and an Army private. But their stories all end in tragedy.
No, sorry, doesn't do any good. There isn't a day that goes by that I know if I wouldn't have drank or towed my car, I wouldn't have caused this accident and they'd still be alive.
I can never forgive myself. I know the family hates me and I hate myself.
I'm sorry. I live with this every day.
They have all killed or seriously injured someone in a drunk driving crash. This year alone, Bexar County's DWI task force has tried a handful of intoxication manslaughter cases. In January, a jury sentenced Sandra Briggs to 45 years for killing San Antonio police officer Sergio Antillon. Antillon was just a few months on the force in 2010 when he stopped to help a stranded motorist. Briggs was drunk behind the wheel when she slammed into a truck that in turn hit Antillon.
That quickly, head-on collision, wrong-way driver.
In February, Chief Prosecutor Charles Rich and his team tried Jenny Ann Ibarra. In 2007, Ibarra was driving drunk and the wrong way when she killed Erica Nicole Smith. Smith's death drew national attention when paramedics initially believed she was dead. But during her trial, prosecutors made it very clear the paramedics weren't the ones on trial.
The focus of this trial and the focus from you needs to be on her.
Jurors sentenced Ibarra to 2 years in prison. She could have faced up to 20.
We're all shocked, and we don't feel like justice has been done.
She has been terribly wrong.
Are we happy with the verdict? No.
But perhaps the biggest outrage has been the last two outcomes in intoxication cases. This week, a jury gave Julie Bronson 10 years probation. Bronson was driving drunk and had taken 2 Ambien pills when she hit the Lopez family, permanently injuring Ava Lopez.
Drink drive, get probation, and that's pretty accurate, and it's very sad.
Earlier this month, another Bexar County jury also gave Jacob Perez probation. In 2009, Perez killed Juan Urrutia and injured 4 others after drinking several Four Locos, a drink mixed with alcohol and caffeine. And although every case has a different ending, the prosecutors who day in and day out fight for justice just want one message resounded in the community.
Don't take that drink and get behind the wheel of your car.
I'm Jennifer Saucedo reporting.
Driving drunk definitely has consequences, and a crackdown from local leaders means it's less likely that you'll avoid the consequences of getting drunk behind the wheel.
Coming up, we'll hear from one of the champions of that crackdown about the policies that are making a difference in the fight against DWI, plus the 2 programs that are trying to stop the problem of drunk driving before it starts. Welcome back. Well, you might call the problem of drunk driving in our community an epidemic. So to tackle it, area law enforcement and the district attorney's office launched a coordinated campaign to crack down on people who get behind the wheel drunk. Bexar County District Attorney Susan Reed is here to discuss that effort with us today. Thank you for coming in.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good to be here.
Well, last year, your office expanded the no refusal blood draw program.
Exactly.
From weekends to every day.
October, we turned it into a 24/7 program.
Why did you think that was necessary?
Well, for a lot of reasons. First of all, our juries are becoming much more sophisticated as far as technology goes, and they like to see chemical results on things.
Right.
And so when people refuse the breath test, all we would have would be the police officer's word, possibly a video. And in many instances, they weren't finding that just good enough. And so this way, we have an absolute chemical indication of an alcohol content. We either have a breath test or a blood test. It's going to be one of the two. So it makes our prosecution more effective, hence making the threat to people that they will be successfully prosecuted much more real to them.
The funding comes from a grant. What happens? Is there a plan in place when that money comes out?
Well, yes, we will have to work to incorporate it into our budgets. I think we wanted to show, first of all, that it would be successful, and it is being successful, and that it is just something we've got to do.
What do you say to critics? Because there are people out there who think that blood draws violate a person's civil liberty.
They don't. Just too bad. I mean, the Supreme Court has said no, that it is not unconstitutional. And there have been specific cases on point. So they can not like the fact that they're going to be held accountable, but that's the way it's going to be.
As when we talk about drunk driving, in terms of that, how does Bexar County rank when we look at other areas?
Well, we have always been one of the major areas of having it as a problem. And Texas is, in fact, one of the major problem states that we have in the United States.
I mean, it takes so many agencies to make this possible, to crack down on a big issue like this. Have you seen any challenges coordinating to make this happen?
Well, the biggest challenge was the coordination on the blood draws and finding the money. I mean, we have all these municipalities within Bexar County, and so you can be driving through one of them. And we wanted to be certain that everyone is on the same page as far as all of our municipalities. So we had to do some coordinating in relation to that. But the heart of people involved in law enforcement is to be effective on this problem.
What's the message to someone who's had a few drinks and they think, I'm fine, I can get behind the wheel, I'll be okay?
Don't drive. They're not going to be okay.
It's not just them, it's other people on the roadway
Well,
as well.
exactly. I mean, they put everyone in jeopardy. I mean, we see it over and over and over, where children are hurt, innocent people are hurt, families are destroyed on both sides. I have seen families of defendants who, you know, they've had someone do something like this, and all of a sudden maybe the breadwinner's going to prison. Yeah. Or maybe daddy or brother or sister or someone you love has put themselves in that situation.
Bottom line, what do you think it's going to take to end the problem of drunk driving?
You know, what it takes to end drunk driving is for the people of our county to say, we're going to end it. It's up to them. It's their choice. I mean, we can be there saying, okay, we're going to catch you, but we shouldn't have to catch you. They should be where the conversation begins, and it is beginning there. I can't tell you the number of people I hear talking about this now, and who are saying, we just don't do that. We've changed the way we were before, and we're just not going to do it, because they are recognizing how dangerous it is and what's at stake. But it takes the individuals of Bexar County to do it.
Bexar County District Attorney Susan Reed, thank you so much for being with us.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Well, the rampant dangers associated with drunk driving have led to a groundswell of support for a program that's all about getting drunks home without them getting behind the wheel. Robert Price shows us how the program works and the bump that it's hit in the road.
35-410.
Janine Phillips and her crew of volunteers have their routine down to a science. 8 nights a month from 10 at night to 2 in the morning. If you're too drunk to drive, they'll pick you up and make sure you and your car get home safely.
Our motto is don't get a DWI, call RUI.
We spoke to Janine this summer as she prepared to launch Riders Under the Influence. 229 rides later, people still can't believe it when she describes their service.
They're just like, are you kidding me? And is this for real?
Oh, and it's absolutely free.
Nobody gets paid, not even me.
Volunteer Brian Marshall has driven every weekend since Labor Day. Active duty Air Force, the father of a young son keeps coming back for one reason.
Just knowing that you're saving people's lives, basically.
We've taken home off-duty police officers. We've taken home grandmas.
We had this one guy where he was hanging out the window throwing up the whole ride home.
Well, last night I took 2 military personnel home that were security forces. And all the way home, they just kept saying, you saved my career.
You just saved their life, no doubt.
Far exceeded my expectations.
But the bigger the success, the bigger the need for more volunteers.
Volunteers, sponsors, donations. I've been trying to basically fund this on my own.
If we had more people, we would be able to cover a lot of more places.
There have been times when we didn't have enough, so I get in the car, which means I'm missing calls.
2 potential drivers, Brian says, just give it a shot.
Just do it for one night, and I guarantee you, if you do it for one night, you'll be back.
I'm Robert Price, reporting.
Well, driving drunk is a dangerous and sometimes deadly combination, but the risks skyrocket when a drunk driver is going the wrong way down the road. In fact, more than a dozen people have died in the last year by wrong-way drivers. The vast majority involved drinking and driving. So the city and TxDOT have teamed up in an effort to combat the problem. TxDOT is spent $500,000 to focus on 281, an area they found has the most wrong-way drivers, installing flashing wrong-way signs and radar detectors on more than 30 exit ramps. If the driver still ignores the sign and enters the ramp, radar will alert TransGuide and give police real-time reports of the car's location. Local law enforcement believe one way to stop drunken driving is to start educating people about the consequences when they're young.
Cynthia Lee shows us how some Pleasanton high school students are the latest to get a taste of reality.
Someone help! It's joking!
Relax. Don't move around. Don't move around. What's his name?
Nathan.
Nathan! Nathan!
How old are you, Gabby?
I'm 18.
You're 18? Okay, just stay put, okay?
It's expired.
Onlookers in shock as Pleasanton authorities unravel yellow police tape to secure the scene. Multiple victims, all Pleasanton high schoolers, in a deadly drunk driving crash just outside campus.
And they were all, some of them were crying, and so it can be a very traumatic experience.
Emergency responders from Atascosa County Sheriff's Office and Pleasanton Police. Sirens. Ambulances. Air life. Even the media. The scene looks real and feels real. But fortunately, it is not real. This mock accident is part of a DWI program called Shattered Dreams that has been educating Texas teenagers for many years. The goal is to show young people the consequences of drinking and driving.
My message is, if you're going to drink, don't drive. If you're underage, don't drink at all.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, motor vehicle crashes are the leading cause of death for people ages 15 to 20. They also say about 3 out of 10 Americans will be involved in an alcohol-related crash at some point in their lives. I'm Cynthia Lee reporting.
The Shattered Dreams program is just one way of fighting DWI, but it's not the only one.
Another way to help stop drunk driving is to stop drinking. We've set up resources with more information at foxsanantonio.com. If drinking is a problem for you, we've provided information on how to get sober with the local Alcoholics Anonymous.
You'll also find information on the Rides Under the Influence program, as well as all the stories that you've seen here tonight. Just look under the Raw News section. Well, that's going to do it for this Fox San Antonio News special on fighting DWI.
Yeah, we've tried to show you the tools law enforcement is using to stop drunk drivers and the consequences that come with getting behind the wheel.
Thanks for staying with us. Now stick around. Maximum Sports with Chuck Mikatinik is next.